Well, hello there, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this latest episode of Movies Merica. Spoiler warning. And we are featuring the king of pop on this episode of Movies Merica. Spoiler warning. As you may have heard, unless you live under a rock or are stranded on Mars like Matt Damon in The Martian, you know that the biggest movie, the biggest blockbuster movie of this past weekend was the movie simply titled Michael, about this guy named Michael Jackson. Maybe you've heard of him. I don't know. He's kind of a underground, not very well known singer here. And so if you got your ear to the ground to the alternative charts, maybe you've heard of this Michael Jackson guy or whatever. But I don't know. But we are going to be talking about his movie all the same here tonight, and doing a deep dive. We'll be busting out the scalpel and the suction and doing an autopsy on the big box office blow up movie known as Michael. But first, this.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
All right. We are going to get into it. All right. If you are looking for an in depth location, an in depth place to talk, all in depth about the Michael movie, okay, not just, go over it with broad strokes and just kind of touch on the Michael movie, or it's not kind of dirty right there. Yeah, if you're looking for a place where you can do more than just, take a glancing blow and just talk about the movie briefly, if you really want to get into this Michael movie, then you are at the right place right here, because there's an advantage to the show being live. Okay, we've got the live chat open on YouTube, the live chat open on Rumble, and you can live chat with me all about this movie Michael if you want, or any movie that you want there, period. I mean, I can't control what you live chat. I don't have mind control powers. Okay, no, you can live chat about whatever you want in both Rumble and YouTube about this movie right here. Because if you're like me and you see a movie like Michael, and you're just that big movie maniac, that fellow freedom fueled film fanatic, that big movie nerd like me, and you just want to talk and talk and talk ad nauseum about the movie, if you're that guy or gal, then yes, this is a place for you. So get in here, get your ass in here, in this show, and into the live chat. And I want to hear from you about Michael here, okay? But like I insinuated before, Michael was the big box office winner this weekend right here. So let me check here. I want to do check out here what the latest numbers here. So let's see, what are the latest box office numbers on Michael? There we go. Let's see what we got here. And let's go into this. We'll go into AI mode, because as we all know, AI is never wrong. No, not at all. All right. So it looks like Michael has grossed $245 million worldwide. Good God. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. Oh my God. And it earned $97.2 million in the US and Canada, making it the biggest domestic opening. Yeah, I'm saying domestic weird. Biggest domestic opening ever for a biographical film there. So yeah, it's beaten movies like Oppenheimer and The Passion of the Christ and Bohemian Rhapsody, all those movies there, because just like we found out back in the 80s, man, it's like Michael Jackson, he's a big thing. All right. And the 80s were the height of his powers, man. He was on the tippy top. Okay. There, after he got to ditch the Jackson 5, because he was better than all his brothers there. No disrespect, but you know what? The truth is the truth. Okay. And Michael was the star and the best voice. and he basically just hit the stratosphere with his talent there back in the '80s. I remember like Michael just everywhere back in the '80s. All right, there, and yes, I am aging myself. Absolutely right there. And but yeah, and so it makes sense to me that a movie about a guy that for man, I'd say 20 years, it's safe to say 20 years, was just this big deal. Now, in the '70s, he was still popular, but he wasn't like your mom knows him, your grandma knows him, your grandma's cat knows who Michael Jackson is. In the '70s, he didn't have that kind of notoriety. In the '80s, he did, but in the '70s, he was still, I mean, a hit song maker, a hit singer. I mean, he had a popularity and all that in the '70s. When he was with the Jackson Five, and then what he was doing, he had what like four, I think 3 or 4 albums before he even did Off the Wall in '78. And Off the Wall just blew up. With Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, and what's the other one? Human Nature, I think, was on that one there too, maybe. And that was the Don't Stop Till You Get Enough, Human Nature, and oh yeah, Rock with You. That was on there as well. So that was a big album for him. And then of course after Off the Wall was the album that again, got your grandma's cat familiar with who Michael Jackson was, and that was Thriller, of course, there. And but somebody that was that popular, it doesn't surprise me that when a movie is made that just celebrates the guy, and again, I know there's a lot been made. There has been a lot made of the fact that this movie doesn't, mention anything about the allegations, and I stress the word allegations. Okay, last time I checked, allegations are not convictions. Okay, although we live in a society now where the IQ is just low enough to where a lot of people treat allegations and accusations like convictions right there. We're not as smart collectively as we were like 50 years ago. 50 years ago, people are smart enough to go, oh, he was accused. Okay. Yeah, but he was just accused, right? He wasn't charged. He didn't get convicted or anything like that. Okay, so there are accusations, so he very well could be innocent, or she could very well be innocent, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, Mr. or Mrs. Accused, I'm going to assume that you're innocent until proven guilty. Not today. Not today. Now today, accusations to a lot of dummies are as good as a conviction. Like, oh, somebody accused you of that? Well, of course, that means you did it. So, shoo, get away, off with you, shoo. You've been accused. That's just as good as a legal conviction. So, and so that's why there's a lot of people gnashing their teeth and wringing their hands, and and losing sleep and crying themselves to sleep because this movie didn't include any of the allegations, the accusations. Notice I'm not saying convictions. Yeah, notice that. Yeah. There you go. I mean, it's not like normal, ordinary people would ever sue famous rich people for money and make all kinds of stuff up, would they? No, I don't think I've. Have you heard of that? Yeah, I've never heard of that whatsoever. Everybody who lives in this earth are fine, upstanding, honest people, and and they and they would never ever do that to Michael Jackson and just tell bold-faced lies just to get a bunch of money. They would never do that. No. So anyway, but so the point I'm making there is this movie is a celebration kind of movie of Michael Jackson and celebrating his rise, his tribulations, and trying to break away from his dad, Joe Jackson. And but all throughout the whole movie, you're getting the great Jackson Five and Michael Jackson music through it all. And because of that, it's just a fun movie to watch there, especially for if you are someone who did grow up in the '80s and you just knew how big Michael Jackson was. I can't see this movie having near as much impact on somebody that just didn't live back then. It's like me, I like somebody like coming up to me, like, hey man, you got to come and see this new Bing Crosby movie. Oh my God, Bing Crosby movie. Bing Crosby was so huge. Oh my God, let's go check out a Bing Crosby movie about like his rise and how famous he was and how big he got. And I'm going to be like, Bing Crosby. Yeah, I know who Bing Crosby is, but I didn't live in the time when Bing Crosby was the shit. When Bing Crosby was this big thing, when he was the guy that my grandma's cat knew who he was, right? So Bing Crosby biopic, not really going to be something that I want to be down for, but a Michael Jackson biopic movie, I most certainly that is my bag, baby. Okay, because I grew up with that. So let's hear it. That's what I'm talking about right there. So, but yeah, let's get into some more Michael here. That is for sure. We've got to get this done. And, for me, MTV was one of those rare treats that I got to see every once in a while. I mean, when MTV first came on the air in 1981, now my family, my mom and dad, we didn't have a TV due to religious reasons. We went to this really strict apostolic Pentecostal church. Okay, the kind of church where people like run through the aisles and speak in tongues and are jumping on pews and going crazy and that kind of thing. So, and all the women have to put their hair in a bun, have to wear these long dresses, and you can't have TV, you can't go to movies, you can't have football. I mean, everything's the devil, right? Remember Adam Sandler's mom in The Waterboy? She was like, everything's the devil. Everything's the devil. Well, this is that church right there. This is the church where everything was the devil. And so we couldn't have TV. And so again, we couldn't have TV due to the religious reasons, much less having cable, so we could watch MTV. I'd have to go to my next door neighbors who seem to have like everything that this church forbade us to have, right? I mean, it was like we're living next to like, Sin City, right? Like we can't have any of this stuff, but just walk a simple 100 feet, westward, walk into their house, and it's, Sin City. Come on in, everybody. Yeah. Temptation and all of that stuff. Yeah. Come on. We got all this. We got slots. We got baccarat, we got poker, we got blackjack. Come on in. So my next door neighbors, like, yeah, they had like a cable and video games and pinball machines and all that stuff there. It was a veritable fantasy land, for a little kid who was, deprived of all that stuff right there. And hey, we got Mr. Scott Awesome up in the house in the live chat on the Rumble side. And good to see you, sir. Heyo, indeed. And hopefully you're in the mood to hear about some Michael here tonight, as in Michael Jackson, of course, right there. So, yeah, like I said, the neighbors had cable TV with that evil HBO and the Devil's Music Channel MTV. All right. And all I remember is, during those rare instances of exposure to MTV, Michael Jackson was a fixture on it. I mean, there was, of course, his videos, but then, MTV seemed to have their VJs constantly talking about him. And then there was just so much promo material about Michael Jackson. Now, for a while, MTV was the only place you could watch his epic Thriller video, which was, let's be honest, more of a mini movie. I mean, however, you know, after all of that, because I really didn't get to see MTV even sparingly until it had been on for a few years, due to that, I had no idea that MTV treated Michael Jackson and other black artists like outcasts for a while there. I had no clue. I was completely ignorant to that fact. Remember, this was way before the internet and YouTube and documentaries about everything. So it wasn't easy to find out that this had been going on at MTV, all right? I mean, you couldn't just fire up X or Instagram or, Facebook or, just Yahoo or whatever on your phone back then and see headlines about how MTV is punking, black musicians. Now, this was back in the day when there was actual systemic racism here and there, right? Not the fake systemic racism that race hustlers pretend still exists today. Not playing Michael Jackson with as big as Jackson is for a channel for music videos is like a channel for classic NBA highlight videos never playing Michael Jordan NBA highlight videos. I mean, can you imagine that? Like, what the hell? Like, you got those NBA classic highlight channel, and all they do is they play Scottie Pippen and Clyde Drexler, which good basketball players in their own right, but they were not Michael Jordan, okay? Not at all. It makes no sense. It's weapons grade stupid, all right? Now, this movie, Michael, portrays what got MTV to stop acting like some Southern 1850s plantation owner and actually start playing black artists as much as the white artist. In the scene with Mike Myers playing the president of CBS Records, Walter Yetnikoff, okay, and there's some kind of like symmetry to that because the guy that bought the rights to this movie and then, of course, got the movie made, I think it's like Graham King or his name is something like that, but he's also the guy that got the rights to like the Bohemian Rhapsody, script there for the Bohemian Rhapsody movie that came out a few years ago. And in that movie, Bohemian Rhapsody, Mike Myers plays like another like record company executive. And then here in this movie, Mike Myers, Wayne and, Wayne's World, right? Austin Powers, that Mike Myers, of course. He plays another executive of a record company. In this case, he plays the president of CBS Records, Walter Yetnikoff. And this Walter guy reportedly called MTV and told them if they don't play Michael Jackson, he's pulling all of CBS's music artists off of MTV. So between that and also, David Bowie calling out their racism, the king of pop was soon on top of MTV. So I just imagine, ever imagine getting bawled out, getting like, reamed out by, let me rephrase that there, knowing what we know about David Bowie, getting like, just getting a tongue lash. No, that doesn't sound good. Tongue lashing from David Bowie, not good. So just getting yelled at, right? Okay, by David Bowie. You need to play more Michael Jackson on your channel. Yeah, my little Jordan. There you go. All right, sorry, no more David Bowie impressions right there. So, all right, lost. I lost, probably half of my 5 million viewers with that impression right there. Okay, so enough of that right there. I think everyone would agree with me on that. So let's move it along. All right, here, real quick here, I just want to remind you, and I'll go through this very quickly, all right, to be merciful on you, because I know people hate this part, but just want to remind you that there is a like button right on down there, okay? And then also there is a subscribe or follow button down there in the land of buttons, okay? And then also there's the notification bell down there as well. If you would click on that, again, it just simply sends you one lowly email a week letting you know that there's a brand new, piping hot, fresh, delicious, savory piece or of Movies Merica, rather, coming hot, steaming out of the oven right there, okay? And then as I wrap this segment up here real quick, just want to talk to my non-live viewers. If you're just watching the recording of this, first off, thanks for watching. And just want to pass on to you that we can still communicate back and forth with each other. I mean, we can't do it via the live chat because you didn't watch live there, all right? Yeah, no, let's correct that, right? So we can't live chat with each other, but we can still comment. There we go. Let me try that again. We can still communicate back and forth with each other. We just have to do it via the comments section, which is down below right there, the comments section. And yeah, let me know what you think of the show. Let me know what you think about the movie Michael, or comment about whatever you want. Just don't be one of those douchebags that, spams my comment and then they're, put stupid stuff like, I really liked your podcast right there. I think we could partner together for more podcast tips. Come to my blah, 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 .com. Look, no. If I see that in my comment section, it's going to take me 0.01 seconds to delete that right on out of there. So don't even waste your time. I could delete it way faster than you could put it in my comment section. Believe that. All right. There you go. But anyway, enough of that about that. We've got some more Michael to talk about. All right. So more Michael here. Real quick though. I mean, I am getting parched right now, and that means that I better have take a drink off this brew that I got going on right here. And I'm going to be talking about this brew here later on in brew review time. Okay, but for right now, I'm just going to be drinking this. And hey, anybody watching there on YouTube or Rumble Land, man, hoist whatever you're drinking and tip it back. Excellent right there. There we go. All right, Michael. So one of the signs that Michael Jackson was, more than just a popular musician in a crowd of popular musicians was him having an attraction at Disney theme parks centered around him. Can you imagine? I mean, just think about yourself, right? And think about like, if people could go to Disney World or Six Flags and ride a ride about you, okay? It's like, what would that ride even be about, right? I mean, had no idea. I'm not even going to try to think about that for me. But you do not get that treatment unless at least people in countries all over the world know your name and just crave your product. I mean, you never saw Rick James the ride at theme parks or, Lionel Land, after Lionel Richie anywhere, right? No, you just saw, a theme ride named after Michael Jackson here. And he's the only one who got that treatment. And so that theme or that attraction, that came in the form of the 3D Disney attraction called Captain EO that premiered at Disney theme parks in 1986. All right, again, 1986, height of Michael Jackson's powers, right there. And again, like I've said before, the 80s. I mean, it was the pinnacle for the King of Pop. Now, Captain EO was marketed as a Disney space opera. It's not really that. If you watch today, it's corny and the visual effects are very much of its time. They're severely dated. But back then, they look cool. I mean, pardon me. However, in 1986, those same visual effects, I mean, they were cutting edge and Disney, just to add some more heft to the Captain EO experience, the production, and all of that. They actually got the director of Godfather, right? They got Francis Ford Coppola, also directed the Conversation and Apocalypse Now. My personal favorite. Bram Stoker's Dracula movie, the one with Gary Oldman, Francis Ford Coppola, just this acclaimed director there. And so he directed it. And then they got George Lucas to executive produce it. And then any music that wasn't like Michael Jackson music in the movie came from Oscar winning composer James Horner. If you don't know who James Horner is the guy who did the Oscar-winning soundtrack to Titanic, right? That movie Titanic that a few people saw. Yeah, he also did the soundtrack to Braveheart and Apollo 13, and well, of course, his best soundtrack ever was Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando. Of course. All right, but that's James Horner. Unfortunately, we lost James Horner far too early in his life. He died, I think, like in his late 50s or early 60s. He died in a plane crash. He was like in a single man plane in California, and he took a dive a little too steep, and unfortunately crashed his plane. And so we lost like this massive movie, composer talent there. But yeah, just look up like the works of James Horner, and you're like, oh my god, he did the music for that movie and that movie and that movie. And man, that music is so good. So especially like the Braveheart soundtrack from James Horner. Man, listen to that soundtrack. You'll be motivated. You'll be wanting to run through walls and all that stuff for days. But this episode's about Michael, not James Horner. So that's what we call a tangent right there. But anyway, back to Captain EO. And Captain EO also co-starred another Oscar winner. So we're talking about Oscar winners all over this thing. Francis Ford Coppola, all right? You got James Horner. You got now Angelica Houston. Okay, Angelica Houston was in this movie as the big baddie. And she had a couple years before this movie came out, she had won an Academy Award for her role in Prizzi's Honor. And so, yeah, we've got a bunch of Oscars this movie or this Captain EO just given this what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's more credibility, right? With just the sheer presence of these Oscar winners through there. Now, the point of me bringing this up is to illustrate one of the big things that shows that Jackson was worlds bigger back then in the 80s compared to anyone that is considered a music superstar today. I mean, you got to think about it. Like back then, we still had what people call the monoculture, right? Where people, like some big thing would come out, some big pop culture thing with like a movie or a hit song or a hit TV show. And people would show up, at school the next day, and everyone would be talking about it. Hey man, did you see that new Back to the Future movie? Oh yeah, I did. Hey, how about that song from Back to the Future, "Power of Love" from Huey Lewis? Oh yeah, no, I just went out and bought the Back to the Future soundtrack. Hey, Freddie, did you see Back to the Future? Oh yeah, I did, Jeff. Oh yeah, like it just everybody came together and all liked the same stuff, and when something was big, it was big with everybody, right? We were all closer together as people generally back then, and so when someone was a big superstar, they were a big superstar because everybody knew who they were, and now we're more divided, and we've got a lot more entertainment choices and that kind of thing, and there's so many different places to listen to different music and that kind of thing. Where back then it was like MTV, the radio, or you got a CD or a cassette tape or something like that. And but as far as like everybody watching the same thing, as far as pop culture things, the number of places that people could watch all that stuff at was smaller. It was lower in quantity than it is today. So that's why we don't have what we call the monoculture nowadays. Like you get, 300,000 people over here excited about this thing, and 1.3 million people over here excited about that thing, and 2.7 million, just all these people just all excited about different things. And so it's hard to get like this nationwide, excitement or worldwide excitement. You get notable exceptions, like Game of Thrones. Remember, Game of Thrones was, on the air for the first few years. Game of Thrones is like appointment television for, like for what seemed like the whole world, right? Unless live smack dab in the middle of the rainforest in Brazil or something like that, then yeah, you don't know, you're not into Game of Thrones then, but you get my point. Like Game of Thrones was a big global phenomenon there. So like kind of that whole thing kind of reminded me of how popular Michael Jackson was and how much people talked about Michael Jackson back in the day. When people would have like Game of Thrones watch parties, right, and that kind of thing. So that's about the closest thing that I can think of there to what I experienced and people that were around and old enough in the '80s experienced, which is how popular that Michael Jackson was there. But and back to Captain EO, I remember seeing Captain EO at Disney World and thinking like, this is one of the highlights of my childhood. Like since it was also the first time I'd ever seen in a 3D movie. I mean, that was trippy just in and of itself. And I can still just imagine my dad looking over at me and thinking, yeah, you better be enjoying this, kid. I paid enough for admission, okay? Because as we all know, Disney World, oh my God, they will violate you financially in so many different ways and so many different positions. Man, they don't even buy you dinner and flowers first, man. Disney World will go to town on you, that's for sure. So you go to Disney World, get ready to grab your ankles financially, that's for sure. So and based on I don't know, some of the people they have working there and playing the characters, you might be grabbing their ankles for another reason too. You never know. You never know. So just keep eyes in the back of your head at Disney World, Disneyland. That's all I say. I mean, because there are these things called Disney adults. Yeah, there you go. All right, let's mix it up here a little bit. Okay, so what should we do now? Oh, I know what we should do now. Oh, yes. Oh, do I know what we should do right now? Absolutely. We should do something that's going to let me quench my deep down body thirst that I got going on right now. And of course, if you've been paying attention, if you know this show, you know that can only mean one thing, and that, of course, is brew review time. All right, let's get this big, beautiful brew over here so you can check out it in all its beautiful visage right there. And again, as you can tell, this is called Good Old Potosi there, and this comes to us from the Potosi Brewing Company in Potosi, Wisconsin. Oh yes, that Potosi, Wisconsin, that the whole world knows, right? Potosi, Wisconsin, world famous town. Yeah. All right. But and again, yes, this is a golden ale here. And of course, you guys want to know the most important thing, like how does this bad boy taste, right? And this has got it's got like subtle grain notes to it. I'd say it's like a little bit heavier Coors Light, but it's got more gravity to the taste there. The taste is more substantial to it, but not too much, right? It's not overdoing it whatsoever. It's about the best layman's terms description for how this tastes that I can come up with right there. And this beer, it's absolutely all over the place in Potosi, Wisconsin, as you would imagine. I mean, this brewery is named after the town Potosi. So, they go around, and because this beer is so ubiquitous, they just go around, and if they want a Potosi, they just say, hey, bartender, give me a Potosi. All right. And of course, the bartender was like, absolutely, sir. All right, I'm coming right up there. Yes, all right, be right over there. Hey, Mitzi, get over there and get him a Potosi right there. All right, yeah. Okay, there you go, because that's how bartenders talk nowadays, right? Like, hey, see here. Yeah, you want the Seagrams? Do you want the Grey Goose? Yeah. But yeah, at least that's how the bartenders talk around here. I mean, but anyway. But yeah, the Potosi's so ubiquitous. It's so prominent in Potosi, Wisconsin. And, it's a reason it's got staying power because it's a gold medal winner at the World Beer Championships there. Absolutely. And they should have this recipe down because this brewery in Potosi, Wisconsin was founded in 1852. Absolutely. So on Joe Biden's 23rd birthday right there. Absolutely. So he was able to enjoy a ice cold Potosi on his 23rd birthday. And now they did close down this brewery, I believe, like in the 1970s. But then somebody bought it and turned it into a nonprofit. And so now they still brew this beer, obviously, but all the revenue from the beer all goes to charity. So what a bunch of nice people there. Isn't that nice? And then isn't that heartwarming? Doesn't that warm your cockles hearing that they give their revenue to charity? It's so nice. Absolutely right there. Now, of course, as part of every brew review time, with every brew, I want to let you know like what foods would this pair well with, okay? And so the foods that this pairs well with here to get right into it is like stuff like grilled chicken, pork tenderloin, grilled salmon. You've got breaded fish and French fries. There's crazy British people call them fish and chips. Okay, but here in the country that matters, we call it breaded fish and French fries. Okay, there you go. Come on, you crazy British bastards, get it right. And I don't know why I just did an Australian accent. That makes no sense. But French fries also go well with this, as do cheeseburgers. Okay, so there you go. So yeah, if you ever have any of those foods, go ahead and wash it down with some good old Potosi from Potosi, Wisconsin. And you know what? I'm not washing anything down with this beer, but I'm gonna drink it, and I'm gonna take care of that right now. Excellent. All right. So good old Potosi is true to its name. It is good old. Yeah, or it's good. I don't know if it's old. It doesn't taste old. It's not expired, so it tastes just fine right there. And it comes to us at 5% alcohol by volume. I should mention that there as well. And just so you don't feel like I'm being stingy and hogging all the good old Potosi for myself. I'll let you know like where you can possibly get it if you don't live in Potosi. If you're not, don't live in that town and you just can't yell at your door, hey, give me a Potosi, and you hear me, all right, sir, I'll get you a Potosi right away, sir. No. What if you live in L.A.? What if you live in Phoenix, Arizona? You don't live anywhere near Wisconsin. Well, you're probably going to have to go someplace like gopuff.com. All right. Puff as in like Puff the Magic Dragon, right? As in Puff Daddy likes baby oil. So there you go. So yeah, gopuff.com. And they specialize in getting you brew that you can't find anywhere near you. Okay. And they will get it to you. But it's going to cost you. All right. It is going to cost you some scratch, my friend. Okay. But they will get it to you. Okay. Now, if you live in Potosi or Wisconsin or anywhere around there, you could probably fire up Uber Eats, Uber Eats phone app on your phone, and get good old Potosi delivered right to your front door of your little house right there. Absolutely, your little casa. Also, Open Bar. That's an app on your phone as well on both Android and iOS. So Open Bar, you can probably get it through there. So, and again, all this in the spirit of making sure you can get your hands on some good old Potosi. And I'm not getting any money from Potosi Brewing Company, anything like that. So this is a legit on the level review. If it tastes like dog shit, I would definitely tell you, that's for sure. So, but yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this brew review time segment, and it's time to wrap it up. All right, let me do this here real quick. I just want to show you something here, and no, it is not something pornographic or sleazy or anything like that. No, not this time, not this week. So I'm trying to change my evil ways and clean up this show and not show you all that debauchery, disgusting things that I typically show you right here. Nope, I'm a new man, everybody, a new man. And so I just want to simply show you something good and wholesome like the Movies Merica merch store. Absolutely good, clean, wholesome family fun here on the Movies Merica merch store. And allow me to tantalize you with some of the Movies Merica merch items we have here. And of course, as you see there, we got t-shirts and hats and drinkware and all of the like right there. And so right here, we've got our first set of Movies Merica merch items here, all with the big mugs style Movies Merica logo. I mean, we got the hat here. Now, I should let you know that hat does not have the purple on it, unfortunately. Okay. Um, and so, yeah, I was disappointed about that too. But that's why I have the price slashed on that there. But we've got t-shirts, as you see right there. Pardon me as I beer burp. That's not very cool. Sorry. We got the tank top. We got a baseball long sleeve there. I got a pullover hoodie as my roller wheel on my mouse decides to get away from me. We got the windbreaker. We got a sports bra there. I just have one favor to ask. Only buy that sports bra if you look like her. So there you go. I mean, it's not terrorize the world there. Okay, there you go. I have the same rule for myself. Until I'm in the right shape, I'm not going to wear a banana hammock, and probably not even then, because that's pretty. Anyway, so yeah, that's the big mugs items that we have there on the Movies Merica merch store right there. And now we're getting into the Holly Weird style of Movies Merica logos or logo. And so as you see here, we got t-shirts and tank tops, and we've got the hoodie and the windbreaker, the baseball long sleeve. Man, I hate this roller wheel on my mouse. I really hate it. So then we have the Black Adam style Movies Merica logo coming up here. And so that's my personal favorite style of Movies Merica logo. And yes, we've got t-shirts and we got tank tops and baseball long sleeves and that there as well. Okay. Now you might be saying, hey, Van, hey, I've got all the Movies Merica clothes that I can stand, that I can take. I mean, I've bought everything on this website. I got a closet full of Movies Merica merch right there. And so, you know what? I love the show and I've done all I can for you. But I get thirsty. I get parched, and I really wish that there was some Movies Merica drinkware out there. And to you, my friend, get ready to be happy. Your wishes are about to come true because yes, we have Movies Merica drinkware here, like the coffee mug that you see there and the can-shaped glass. We've got the pint glass there. We've got koozies as well. Like this, we have kind of an additional sorted item here. We have desk mats to class up your desk here with the magic of Movies Merica. I mean, how can you not do your best work at your desk with with my mug, not looking up at you right there? I mean, how can you do that? I mean, my mug staring back up at you off this desk mat is only going to increase your productivity. Promise, and that's a guarantee. All right, there you go. But yeah, get yourself to this Movies Merica merch store here. And yeah, I should probably let you know where you can find or how you can get to this website here. We're making it very easy for you because all you got to do is click on the Movies Merica merch link down in the description. Yes, look down in the description. You'll see the link to the Movies Merica merch store down there. And yeah, just go crazy, go nuts, man. Just indulge yourself, pamper yourself with Movies Merica merch right there, or somebody else. If you're not a selfish bastard and you're a big gift giver and you want to, give someone the gift of Movies Merica, by all means, you can definitely do that. Okay, so hey, maybe you kind of had a falling out with your mom and dad, and you're like, man, I bet they wrote me out of the will. I probably shouldn't have said that thing about my mom having having a double chin. Shouldn't have probably said that, and calling my dad a big wanker. Probably should have done that. So, but I need to get back into good graces. Well, nothing says I love you, mommy and daddy, like a coffee mug for mom and a pint glass for dad, and maybe t-shirts or something like that. There you go. So nobody said your mom and dad can't be bought off, and what better way to buy them off than with Movies Merica merch right there. Okay, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful Movies Merica merch, bringing families together right there. Okay, so it's the least I can do. So, but enough about that here, about the Movies Merica merch. I think I've talked about that ad nauseum. You get the point. So we are going to move on with the show. All right. And of course, that means we have more Michael to talk about here. And now we're going to kind of touch on the subject of Michael Jackson versus Prince. Okay. Because since, Michael Jackson and Prince, were two black music superstars reaching huge heights around the same 80s time frame, a sort of like Star Wars versus Star Trek style rivalry, like Skywalker fans versus Trekkies, that kind of rivalry developed, whether it was real or imagined. It developed, okay, and you were considered like more shallow and giving into the more mainstream if you like Michael Jackson, and you were classified as deeper and subversive and more complex if you dug the guy who hung his hat in Paisley Park. Okay, sure, they were both black, but their music and vibes were so different. You had Jackson's was more like, let's hold hands and dance around a tree where love meets and sing kumbaya. Where Prince was all about, sex and conflict and subverting being a masculine man. Although we know Prince plowed through plenty of women that us straight guys would debase ourselves royally for just one night with, all right? My guess, though, is that this rivalry, the one actually personally between these two, was actually anything but organic. Okay, I'm picturing back then some players, on both of their entourages there, like whispering stuff to them, in their ear, like, pitting them against each other. Look at that guy over there with that cloud guitar with no shirt on, singing about some darling Nikki skank. He's trying to be bigger than you, Michael. Psst, Prince. Psst, Prince. Did you see Michael got a big time 13-minute music video directed by the same guy who made the Blues Brothers? Prince, where's your 13-minute music video for Raspberry Beret directed by that guy? Come on. It's just, I think, just some people just love starting drama there. So that's what I'm picturing, is just, some members of their entourage just trying to pit them against each other, get some headlines going on. And because they know that, people be loving drama. They be loving drama there. Okay. So they're trying to manufacture some drama between, two of the biggest icons out there. And, there were, if you believe, gossip and all of that stuff there, there were instances where it seems like, there was a animosity. There were like moments that would organically build up animosity. Like there was this, it was New Year's Eve, like it was like this Motown New Year's Eve party, a concert with James Brown, like in 1983. And Michael Jackson was out in the crowd, and Michael Jackson and Prince are both like, they idolize James Brown. And so James Brown's up on stage, good God, go kiss myself. Like just doing his James Brown stuff. And, he saw Michael Jackson out the crowd. I was like, Michael, get up there on stage. Heck, go kiss my feet. Like, get up here. Come on, Michael. So Michael gets up there. Oh, thank you very much, James Brown. I'm very happy to be here. Oh, you're so great, And then so they're hobnobbing with each other. And then Michael Jackson, I think he knows that the Prince is in the house. And so it's like, hey, Prince, come up here on stage and play that guitar. Maybe play that Purple Rain song or something like that or whatever. And Prince gets up there. And I guess the guitar that Prince was using was like malfunctioning. All right. And then Prince also, you saw like they had like this street light lamp post kind of prop up on the stage. And so he thought it was like something that was fixed, like bolted down. And so he like grabbed it. He was like going to try to spin around it. And he didn't realize that it was just like this cheap plastic thing that wasn't bolted to the ground. And so when he tried to go do that, the thing toppled over into the crowd and Prince toppled over into the crowd too. And so it was like an embarrassing night for Prince in front of his idol, James Brown. And so I think, Prince held that against, Michael Jackson for a long time. So yeah, there was that kind of animosity between them. And then also like Michael Jackson, though, to his credit, when he was, when they were getting ready to make the Bad video, he invited Prince to play the part that eventually went to Wesley Snipes, right? And Prince has admitted that that's what happened. That yeah, he was invited to play that part, and he didn't want to play it because remember the first lyrics to Bad, it's your butt is mine, okay, and so Prince was like, I'm not having Michael Jackson saying your butt is mine to me, and Michael Jackson sure as hell doesn't want me singing that back to him. Okay, so Prince was like, I'm not going to do it. And then Prince kind of made a good point, like, if you look at the character that Wesley Snipes played in the Bad video, you're like, can you imagine Prince playing that part? No. So Prince is way too effeminate to play that part. But again, hey, like I said before, even though he's effeminate, man, he's got quite the body count. That is for sure there. But hey, you know what? Those are the perks of being rich and famous. Absolutely there. Where are we at here in the docket? Let's double check here. I want to make sure we've got everything on the down low. I want to make sure we got everything in order. Here we go. I'm going to do a little house cleaning here real quick. I just want to see if I can do something and just kind of do a little multitasking and take care of some business here real quick. All right. And that's the sound you hear is my terrible typing. That is for sure. Okay. All right. So, and what do we got next here on the schedule? As the British say, they call it schedule. Yes. You know what? You know what time it is, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God, are you in for a treat? Okay, you are. Oh, you just get ready, man. Get ready to be happy. You are in for the time of your life right there, okay? And the reason that is because coming up next is the movie Military Moment. Absolutely. That very same movie Military Moment you've heard your family and your friends all talk about. Absolutely, that very one, all right? And so, but just in case there are some uninitiated here in the crowd and you have no idea what the movie Military Moment is, what that is that's the few minutes that I give myself to pay homage to a brave military member that has been awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. Okay. And because I'm ex-military myself, and I consider myself proudly very patriotic. I will never apologize for being a proud American. And so I think that will more than likely inspired me to create this movie Military Moments segment. Now, I'm sure there might be one or two or 700,000 of you out there, asking rightfully, hey, Van, that's very nice that you're, paying tribute to, a brave Congressional Medal of Honor recipient, but what the hell does that have to do with movies? All right. And legit question. All right. And so I owe you an explanation for that, and it is forthcoming. I am going to get you that explanation, but not until after this. All right, so I owe you an explanation, everybody. So, what the movie military moment has to do with movies, what the connection is as you would imagine, if you are the recipient of the Congressional Medal of Honor, you didn't get it for being like the best booger picker on the military base, right? You didn't get it for shining the best boots or, being the best, chow slopper at the base chow hall, right? You got it for doing something heroic, right? Doing something monumental. Okay, you're a helicopter pilot. You're flying Hueys in Vietnam, right? And your orders are to fly in supplies to the troops and evac the wounded, and so you're doing that, and all of a sudden, all the army soldiers down there that you're supposed to be helping out there. They get overrun by the North Vietnamese, all right? And so you no longer have a place to land your helicopter, or what's commonly referred to as an LZ, or landing zone, okay? And so that LZ is what's called hot, meaning that LZ or landing zone, there's no place to land your helicopter because the enemy has overrun your landing zone. There's enemy down there, and if you try to land down there, they're shooting your plane. They're firing RPGs at your helicopter. Okay. And so, but if you're the kind of pilot, you're like, you know what? I don't care, man. I got ammo back here. All right. I got to get it to the troops. I got ammo and food. I got to get it to the troops, or they're going to die. And there's wounded down there. There's wounded. I got to evac those wounded. And your commanding officer, he's on the squawk box going, Colonel, get your butt back here. Or Captain, get your butt back here with that helicopter. You don't pay for that helicopter. The taxpayers do. And you're like, sorry, sir. I got to defy that order. I got to disobey that order, man. We got troops down there. They're going to die if I don't evac them. They're going to, all the rest of them are going to die because they're going to run out of ammo because I'm not supplying them there. All right. And so you fly your Huey into that hot LZ, and your helicopter is getting shot to shit. Right. But you're like, I don't care. My life isn't more important than my fellow soldiers down there, right? I'm trying to help them out. And I'm not trying to be a hero. I'm just trying to do my job and be there for my fellow soldiers down there. And the soldiers on the ground, they're looking at your heroics. They can't believe what they're saying. They're like, oh my God, this guy's a badass. He keeps coming down with supplies and evacuating the wounded. This guy's a badass, man. And if you were a soldier there in Vietnam watching this, and later on in life you saw this event, this heroic thing replayed for you on a big movie screen in front of you, it would be a very cool movie military moment. All right, and that's the connection, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. All right, so let's get to our honoree, because I think we've made our honoree during this movie military moment wait far, far too long, as I went through that explanation for far too long. Okay, so we are going to get to our honoree here, and that is Private First Class Ross A. McGinnis, who fought in the GWAT, or Global War on Terror, in Iraq. Okay, and so we're going to learn more about Private First Class McGinnis via me reading his citation here. But, I believe that the good old Private First Class deserves some badass movie military moment music to accompany us learning more about him. Don't you? I think so. So let's get on that. This is the movie military moment. And in this movie military moment, we pay tribute to one Private First Class Ross A. McGinnis, who fought in the Global War on Terror, the GWAT, in Iraq. And let's learn more about what the good Private First Class did to be awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor. Private First Class Ross A. McGinnis distinguished himself by gallantry and ingenuity above and beyond the call of duty while steering SM-2, a caliber machine gunner. First Platoon, E Company, First Battalion, 26th Infantry Regiment, in connection with combat operations against the armed enemy in Adamea, northeast Baghdad, Iraq, on 4 December 2006. That afternoon, his platoon was conducting combat control operations in an effort to reduce full sectarian violence in the area. While Private McGinnis was manning the M2 caliber machine gun, a fragmentation grenade thrown by an insurgent fell to the gunner's head and into the vehicle. Reacting quickly, he yelled, "Grenade!" allowing all 4 members of his troop to prepare for the grenade blast. And rather than leaping to the gunner's head, Private McGinnis made the courageous decision to protect his crew. In a selfless act of bravery, in which he was mortally wounded, Private McGinnis covered the live grenade, hitting it between his body and the vehicle and absorbing most of the explosion. Private McGinnis' gallant action directly saved 4 men from serious injury or death. Private First Class McGinnis' extraordinary heroism and selflessness at the cost of his own life, above and beyond the call of duty, are in keeping with the high traditions of the military service and reflect great credit upon himself, his unit, and the United States Army. Private First Class Ross A. McGinnis for making the ultimate sacrifice for your country and for your fellow soldiers there as you did there, saving the life for of your comrade. And that has been the movie Military Moment. All right. So, man, I mean, does that not motivate you, or does that not motivate you right there? Okay, man, this guy is just didn't care about his own life. He was selfless. He made the ultimate sacrifice. You know, like what's the saying? Like, you know, all gave some, but some gave all, and he was one of those that gave all there for his country. And I'll be damned if I let people badmouth this country that he gave his life for right there. What we're seeing here in this country nowadays is not what that guy fought for. Okay, it's not what our grandfathers and great grandfathers fought for in World War II and World War One. Not at all. And so it's my pleasure to inform everyone of the the heroics of heroes like Private First Class McGinnis right here. And you don't have to wait for me to do my movie Military Moment to hear about these heroes. I invite you to go to the website of cmohs.org/recipients. Again, that's cmohs.org/recipients. And if you need a pick me up in the morning, if you just need a motivating slap in the face to just get you off your ass, then go to that website right there and just read, 1, 2, 3, 10 of these citations and about the heroics of these guys. And that whole plan you had for the day of like just laying on the couch watching TV and scratching your nuts is going to go right out the window. Okay, because then you're gonna be so motivated you'll actually get to that honeydew list that the wifey gave you right there, because you're gonna be so motivated. Right, you're gonna be like, hey, this guy can fall in a grenade and take the brunt of the explosion from a grenade. I think I can go out to the garage and get that cleaned out right there. There you go. So, but I do love doing that movie Military Moments, and it's my pleasure to do it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and let me know in the live chat or in the comments if you're watching the show later on. Yeah, if you like the movie Military Moment and you like me honoring these heroes, absolutely. So, but with that, let's wrap up this movie Military Moment. Alrighty then. So real quick here, I just want to, well, you know what? I'm not even going to do that. Don't even need to do that right there. Nope, not at all. And man. All right, so what I should do right now is let you know what movie I am going to be talking about next week on Movies Merica. Okay, the Movies Merica show on Sunday and the Movies Merica. Well, just the one on Sunday. Next week at this time, I will not be doing a show. I'm on a work trip, and so I will not be doing Movies Merica. Spoiler warning: a week from tonight. Okay, and then I won't be doing a Movies Merica live episode a week from this Sunday again due to a work trip right there. But this Sunday I will be doing a Movies Merica live episode there on the normal time on Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. Mountain, and 1 p.m. Pacific. And it's going to be about this new movie called Deep Water. Yes, Deep Water. It's a movie with Aaron Eckhart. You guys probably best know him as Harvey Dent on The Dark Knight Rises, or in The Dark Knight, or not Dark Knight Rises, in The Dark Knight. He technically was in The Dark Knight Rises for about 3 seconds at the beginning of the movie right there. But yes, Harvey Dent from The Dark Knight. And so it stars him, Ben Kingsley, as you guys know, as Gandhi. There you go. There you go. And you guys, the newer folks, the younger folks probably know him as the Mandarin on the Iron Man movies there, and or Shang-Chi. But yeah, it's all about this plane. It crashes in the ocean, and all the passengers on the plane have to worry about getting eaten by sharks. That's basically the plot of the movie, Deep Water. There you go. And like Mr. Scott Osman, the legend, Sunday, 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 monster trucks. Come to the Coliseum this Sunday and see the big monster mash. I used to love those commercials. Around my area, we also have commercials like that for tractor pulls. Yep, love it. But yeah, so that'll be the movie for this Sunday, Deep Water. Okay. And yeah, you know what? This Sunday, whether it's worth going to see, I, just like Private First Class McGinnis, will fall on that movie grenade for you. It's just as heroic as what he did. I kid. No disrespect, Private First Class McGinnis. No disrespect. Just trying to be funny. Forgive me. All right. So, but yeah, check the episode out on Sunday, all about Deep Water. There you go. So, do we have anything else to talk about here? I mean, we covered Michael pretty damn well here. And also, yeah, just let me make a humble little request to you. If you would follow me on the platforms that I'm on X, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, Gab, I'm on Rumble there, and you'll find me on all those platforms under either at Movies Merica or Movies Merica, of course. Okay, and so like on Facebook, I have a Movies Merica group, Movies Merica page. You can say hi to me with my Van Ebert profile on Facebook if you want. I'm on Instagram. If you're a Gab guy or gal, check me out on Gab. And so, yeah, follow me on all those platforms right there. So it'll be a good time for you. But I think we're getting ready to wrap it up, everybody. Just making sure, I'm kind of doing that thing, you go on vacation, you just kind of like, you're about to close the door. You're just kind of peeking in like, did I leave the oven on? And did I leave my wallet on the couch? That kind of thing. Right? That's what I'm doing with this episode right now. But real quick, just want to thank everybody for watching this show here. That is for sure. And please go ahead and send the link to this episode to anybody that you even remotely suspects is into movies. And anybody that would appreciate kind of a deeper dive on the movie Michael. Okay. Or any Michael Jackson fan, that kind of thing. And also, hey, go to let me do this here real quick. That's what I should have done here in the beginning. Let me do that. Yeah, I should probably do that. There we go. Let me go back out of here. And I'm going to put this over here. There we go. Put that in the chat. There we go. So in the chat there on the Rumble side, I just put the Rumble link there to go to the Rumble link there, and that's the page with all the episodes, all the reviews, all the spoiler-free reviews, and all the spoilery reviews. That way, like say if you're you're looking through your Netflix algorithm, your Netflix feed, your Hulu feed, your Amazon Prime feed, and you see a movie and like the thumbnail looks good, But you're like, I don't know if that's good or not. I don't know if that's going to be a waste of 2 hours. What you should do is do yourself a favor and go to Rumble and just type in the name of the movie and Movies Merica, and you can find, and you basically, chances are you're probably going to find a episode where I spoiler free review that episode or that particular movie there, so that you can see whether that movie is good, because I have the ultimate opinion. Come on, as we all know, there. So check that out right there. And because if you end up, bear with me just a moment. Yeah, if you go and you pick a movie, off of HBO Max or something like that, or Amazon Prime, and you watch it, and 3 hours later you're like, oh my god, what a complete waste of time, honey. Why didn't we go to Movies Merica and see if he had a spoiler-free review of this movie? And he could have told us that this thing sucks donkey dick right there, and we could have saved her. Someone could have been watching something better. I told you we should have went to Movies Merica. It's your fault. Okay, so don't be those schmucks and watch a lousy movie because you were too lazy to go to Rumble or YouTube to look up my spoiler-free review of that movie there. So yes, you can do that in both Rumble or YouTube. YouTube is probably gonna be a little harder for you to find because there's just so much content on YouTube. But yeah, just type in the movie and Movies Merica. And what I would do is, I don't blame you. I mean, my spoiler-free review episodes are usually like anywhere from like 50 minutes to an hour, right? Nobody wants to watch a whole episode that long just to see if a movie's good or bad, right? So what I would do is just fast forward to like the 45-minute, 50-minute mark. That's usually when I do my final thoughts on the movie, and that's a good way to see if I think the movie is good. Because remember, I'm a movie maniac. I am a freedom-fueled film fanatic, man. All right, so I love movies, and my taste is the tippy top. All right, there you go. I'm a taste maker. All right, so, and what I say about movies goes. There you go. I'm not full of myself at all. Not at all. Not at all. Okay, so the links to my Rumble page with all the episodes on Rumble is in the Rumble live chat right now, and then my YouTube page with all my episodes, the link to that is in the YouTube live chat right there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. But let's wrap up this bad boy, but not before I tell you first, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya. Howdy, my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/Movies Merica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies Merica. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies Merica live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesmerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @Movies Merica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got the popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'll be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching.